Hi guys, it's math time. All right, so get your math books out and turn to page 513. Now today you're not going to use your fraction strips, okay? Because today we are comparing fractions with the same denominator, okay? Now these are the very, very simple ones, okay? So we're gonna breeze through today. It's going to be pretty simple, okay? So let's look at page 513. We're going to start at the top. Jeremy and Christina are each making a quilt block. Both blocks are the same size and both are made of 4 equal size squares. 2/4 of Jeremy's squares are green. 1/4 of Christina's squares are green. Whose quilt block has more green squares? All right, so let's take a look there. We have Jeremy's quilt block and we have Christina's quilt block. So there you see them, right? Okay, so Jeremy's quilt block and Christina's quilt block. So we need to shade 2/4 of Jeremy's. So go ahead and shade 2/4 of Jeremy's. If you don't have green, that's fine. Use whatever color you have. I just happen to have green. And shade 1/4 of Christina's. Okay, so we can see that that's 1/4 and we can see that that's 2/4. So 2/4 and 1/4. Now we're going to compare. So look at how much is green. Is 2/4 greater than 1/4 or is 2/4 less than 1/4? 2/4 is greater than. Okay, so greater than. So Jeremy has more of the green quilts. All right. So remember we talked last time when we have our denominators are the same, we just forget about those denominators and we just compare the numerators, right? So we have a 2 and a 1 and 2 is greater than 1. Perfect, right? Okay. All right, let's go down to Jen and Maggie. Okay, so they each have 6 buttons. Shade 3 of Jen's buttons to show the number of buttons that are red. All right, so go ahead and shade 3. I'm going to get my red marker to show the red. You don't have to. If you don't have red, that's fine. All right, I happen to have red. Okay, so shade 3 of Jen's buttons, red. Okay, to represent the red. And shade 5 of Maggie's buttons to show the number that are red. So 5 of Maggie's are red. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so we have 5 of Maggie's, 3 of Jen's. Now we need to have a fraction to show the number of red buttons for each person. So what fraction could I write to represent the 3 red buttons of Jen's? 3/6. Very good. So 3/6. Okay. And Maggie, we need a fraction to represent hers, and she has 5/6. Excellent. So 5/6. All right, so our denominators are the same, so compare your numerators. So 3 is less than 5 or 3 is greater than 5? 3 is less than 5, which means 3/6 is less than 5/6. Okay? All right, so that's that. Let's turn the page. Oh, so we didn't answer the bottom one. Sorry. So who has a greater fraction of buttons? Maggie does, right? So Maggie does. All right, let's go on to page 514. Now on the top, they want you to use fraction strips. You don't have to get yours out. I'm just going to show you, okay, on my fraction strip, okay? So all you do is look. All right, so we have 2/8 and 7/8, and we're not going to even write anything for here, okay? So 2/8 is here, 7/8 is here, okay? So if I were to write 2/8 is blank then 7/8, you would say 2/8 is less than 7/8, and you can actually see it. So there's 1, 2, and this here shows 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7/8 would, oops, I didn't want to do that. Whoops, see, this is why I don't want you to break yours apart. I'll have to tape that. So 7/8 would be greater than 2/8 if we had 7/8 written first. Or I would say 2/8 is less than 7/8. So it all depends on how it's written, which one comes first. Now that counts if the denominators are the same. Okay, then you just compare your numerators. We'll put that to the side so I can fix that. All right. All right, let's take a look at the bottom there. So use reasoning all the way at the bottom. You didn't even have to do anything up here. I just did it for you. So use reasoning. These are very, very simple. Anna and Omar are decorating same size bookmarks. Anna covers 3/3 of her bookmark with glitter. Omar covers 1/3 of his bookmark with glitter. Whose bookmark is covered with more glitter? So you're comparing 3/3 and 1/3. Okay, where is my thirds? Here it is. So 3/3 would be 1, 2, 3. The whole thing, right? Because remember we talked, if the numerator and the denominator are the same, it equals 1. I just dropped my strip. There it is. It equals 1, right? So it's 1 whole. If my numerator and my denominator are the same, it's 1 whole. And then 1/3 is only one piece of that 3. Okay, so 1/3, of course, is going to be smaller, right? So 1/3 will be less than 3/3, or 3/3 is greater than 1/3. Okay, so whose bookmark is covered with more glitter? Well, it would be the one that has 3/3, who is Anna. Okay, all right, so pretty simple. Let's look at page 515. Page 515. All right, let me erase my board here, and I'll do a couple of these for you. All right, so number 1, it tells you to draw points on the number line. So we know how to do that. So find 1/6, draw your line, or draw your point, sorry, and find 5/6 and draw your point. Okay, then we have to answer 1/6, 5/6. So 1/6 is less than or greater than 5/6. Less than, right? I don't even have to look at my 6's, my denominators, just know that 1 is less than 5. Pretty simple. All right, let's do a couple of these together. So number 2, 4/8 and 3/8. So 4/8 is, yeah, very good, greater than 3/8. Okay, then I'll do a couple more together, and then I'm going to have you do some on your own. 1/4 and 4/4. Okay, so 1/4. So 1 is less than 4, right? And I know 4/4 equals 1 whole. Okay, let's see, 1/2 and 1/2. Well, my denominators are 2. But my numerators are 1. They're the same number, so they are equal. Okay, and then 3/6 and 2/6. So 3/6 is greater than 2/6. All right, I want you to pause my video, and I want you to do numbers 6 through 9. Only 6 through 9, and then stop. Okay, so 6 through 9. All right, pause me. All right, guys, very good. Okay, you should have 6 through 9 done. Are you ready? So I'm just going to read through these. So number 6, 2/4 is less than 3/4. Number 7, 2/3 is equal to 2/3. Number 8, 4/6 is greater than 2/6. And number 9, 0/8 is less than 2/8. All right, now for numbers 10 to 13, we're going to have different answers. So let's take a look at these. We have to write a fraction that is less than, greater than, or equal to the given fraction. So number 10 says 1/2 is less than. Now, we got to keep our denominator the same. So what number would be greater than 1? You would have to say 2, right? 2/2. So 1/2 is less than 2/2. Okay, we could put like a 3 or a 4, but then we're getting to fractions greater than 1. Okay, so let's just stay with these guys, okay? Don't go over 1, okay? All right, so there's that one. Let's look at number 11. So we have some fraction is less than 12. Oh, they went over, didn't they? 12/6. That's okay. Keep your denominator the same. Okay. Now we have to make sure that we're less than 12. So it could be 5/6 is less than 12/6. It could be 7/6 is less than 12/6. Anything that's less than 12. So I could be 11 or down, okay? So any of those numbers. All right, and then number 12 is 8. 8 is equal. Well, if it's equal, it better be the same number. So put 8, 8, right? Has to be the same, okay? All right, and then number 13, we have some fraction is greater than 2/4. Well, get our denominator the same, okay? Now I need something that's greater than 2. We could have a 3, we could have a 4, and they threw it out there. We could have numbers greater than, a fraction greater than 1, so you could have anything that's greater than a 2. Okay, guys? All right, that was pretty simple, right? All right, let's go down to number 14. Carlos finished 5/8 of his art project on Monday. Tyler finished 7/8 of his art project on Monday. Who finished more of his art project on Monday? All right, well, we have to look at our two fractions, okay? So we have Carlos with 5/8, so write 5/8 on the line. And we have Tyler with 7/8, write 7/8 on the line. Now I got to figure out what sign I'm going to put in here. Okay, so 5/8, 7/8, my 8s are the same, my denominators are the same. Compare your numerators. 5 is less than 7, which means 5/8 is less than 7/8. So the question, go back to the question, who finished more? So the more would be your 7/8. Go back into the question, find who? Tyler. So on the line, write Tyler. Okay? All right, good job, guys. Okay, let's go to page 517. 517. All right, we're going to do part of this together, and then I'm going to let you do the rest on your own, and then you're going to send me a picture of it, okay? All right, so number 1's done for you, so you need to compare. So greater than, less than, or equal. So number 2 is 3, 6, and 0, 6. So 3, 6 is what to 0, 6? Good job, greater than. And number 3, 1/2 and 1/2. 1/2 is equal to 1/2, right? All right, so that's that. So do those all the way down to number 15. Remember, look at your denominators. If your denominators are the same, then just compare your numerators. Let's go to number 16. Ben mowed 5/6 of his lawn in 1 hour. John mowed 4/6 of his lawn in 1 hour. Who mowed less, pay attention, of his lawn in 1 hour? Well, we got to compare our fractions, so put 5/6 on the line. That represents Ben. Put 4/6 on the line. That represents John. So now we got to compare. Denominators are the same. Compare your numerators. 5 is greater than 4, so 5/6 is greater than 4/6. Okay, so who mowed less? Now we want less. So it would be our 4/6, which is John. So John would be on your line. Okay? You do number 17 on your own. Make sure you show me your work. I want to see that in your picture. You can cross off number 18. You do not have to do number 18. And then turn to page 518 on the back. Okay? And I want you to do numbers 1 to 6. Make sure you show me your work if work is needed, okay? All right, so 517, 518, make sure you take a picture of both sides. So a picture of the 517 and a picture of 518, okay? And send them to me. Capiche? All right, I think that's it. All right, guys, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.